a cloudy and brutally cold Thursday morning in Northeast Ohio. Welcome on into the Bullpen. It's a Bull and Fox edition, as it is every Tuesday and Thursday morning at 9 a.m. I'm Adam the Bull. He's Dustin Fox. We've got Alex and no Alex today. We got Z and Max today behind the glass or wherever the hell they are, gallivanting around Louisiana and Canada. And we got a lot to get to today. Sean King was texting me last night out of the blue, which was bizarre. It's still bizarre to me, even though I've been doing this for 25 years. I got like former NFL players just sending me a text randomly. Joe Thomas was on the podcast yesterday, so we'll get some of his thoughts. Plus, the Cavs lose again. The Guardians make a move, and the Buckeyes getting ready to play their biggest game of the season. That's all coming up. Dustin, how you doing? What's going on?
What's happening, Bull? I'm Provo Dustin today. I got my BYU gear on. I'm pulling for the Cougars this weekend, and it would be bullshit if they don't make the playoff and they lose twice to Texas Tech. Be absolute bullshit.
Why would that be bullshit?
Dude, they are getting screwed by the college football playoff right now with where they're ranked. They should be
now. But if they take care of business, then they're in, right? If they win, they're in.
They would have to beat Texas Tech, which is their only loss of the year. They would have lost to a top 5 team twice, and that would be held against them for some reason. It's ridiculous.
Well, but it's not like they don't control their destiny. If they beat Texas Tech, they get in.
Sure, but don't you think that just because that happens to be their only loss, that it shouldn't be held against them?
Well, who should they be in over at this point? In
Notre Dame. Notre Dame.
Does Notre Dame have a better win than what's BYU's best win?
BYU's best win? I have to go pull up their exact schedule, but BYU's best win this season. Well, first off, they've beaten, I think, 6 teams that are going to bowl games. They beat Utah. They beat Arizona, which is 9-3, top 25 team. I mean, Notre Dame hasn't really beaten anybody, dude. And they have 2 losses.
Yeah, that is weird.
I don't know. Whatever. Or you know Oregon's best win, by the way? Oregon, the Ducks. Best win.
Yeah.
6-4 Iowa is their best win.
That's their best win?
Best win.
Okay. I don't know.
And how's Oregon number 7?
The whole system is so stupid, and I'll be honest, I haven't watched college football close enough to know the details of who's better than who. But I don't know. I kind of hate the system. I like 12 teams in the playoffs.
Well, listen, this is the last year for it. They're going to 16 next year. And
they are?
Eventually,
if
they wanted to get it right, they would go to 24 like the FCS, and that would be nobody would bitch.
Well, but then the regular season is basically meaningless for a lot of teams.
I mean, why so?
Because like a team like Ohio State is guaranteed to be in the playoffs every year.
Okay.
I mean, they're guaranteed even at 12.
For the most part, okay, but there's like how many teams like that though?
Right, but it's once you get that high, even at 16, to me, this is the case. Then, if you're going to go to 24, then you've got to go to a system where you play good teams every week, because otherwise, if you can get away with scheduling bad teams, then what's the point of playing anybody good if you're any kind of level of program? And you can't have a preseason.
Well, you have to play your conference schedule, Bull.
I hear you, but not every conference is created equal. And the conferences are so big that, you may just, like Ohio State didn't play Indiana this year, right? They didn't.
Well, no, they're going to this.
I know they're going to, but I think college football, the way it's going, should end up where they have just the top 40 teams or 24, whatever, in one division, and then do different divisions.
Adam, can't you make the argument that the regular season in college basketball doesn't matter for teams like Duke and
it doesn't, right?
North Carolina,
right? But do you want
to
become college basketball where people really only pay attention at the tournament time? Like right now, you got
no one. I don't really know that anybody has ever really paid attention to college basketball during the regular season.
Oh, 100%. When I was a kid, we did, no doubt.
I don't know, man. I don't remember watching much college basketball until basically conference tourneys at the end of the year.
Well, maybe you. I'm just saying, like maybe that's the thing. Just like I didn't watch college football as a kid, and I watched college basketball as much as I could.
I think part of it has to do where you grew up. I
Yeah,
mean,
right.
You
Sure.
grew up in New York, and I grew up here in Ohio, where
Right.
like college basketball is just not on the radar until
Right.
football's over.
Yeah. So I get it, but I mean, I don't love the idea of 20. The only I think if you're going to do an expanded playoff, it makes sense to not have 110 teams in the same division or 120, whatever it is. Again, split it into 5 different divisions.
Well, there's 300 teams in Division I for basketball.
Right, and the regular season stinks, and I don't want listen. I don't care enough about college football, but it like the regular season games are going to have no value whatsoever. Like, what's the difference when Ohio State played? I mean, at Michigan, just because of the rivalry, but any other game, it's not going to really matter.
Yeah, but I mean, the seeding matters, and getting the bye in the first round matters.
Yeah, I guess, but like Ohio State's going to get a bye every year. If there's 24 every year.
What do I know about the North Texas quarterback? I know that Drew Mestamaker, to me, is the best quarterback in the country that no one's talking about. And next year, wherever he goes, he'll be. His coach is going to Oklahoma State. I'm not sure if he's going to Oklahoma State with his coach.
So he can't go pro this year. This guy.
He's a redshirt freshman.
Oh, okay.
So he's got 2 years. After next year, he'll go pro, and he'll be, I think, the top quarterback. The guy to me is like a combination of like Aaron Rodgers and Josh Allen. Because he's got
ridiculous combination.
It's just a ridiculous, because his arm is like Rodgers, but he's a big kid who can run like Josh Allen. So it's a fascinating story. I think he's going to be the top quarterback in the draft next year.
Yeah, we'll get back to college football and we'll get back to the Buckeyes. But speaking of quarterback, Sean King texted me yesterday, and for whatever he texted me just some YouTube videos of Cam Ward and Tyler Shuck, quarterbacks for Tennessee and New Orleans, for those who don't know. And he said, and they would just highlight videos showing some of the best throws these two guys have made. And he's like, Shedeur hasn't made any throws like this. If he's going to convince the Browns that he's the quarterback of the future, he's got to make some throws like this. Now, to be fair, obviously, those guys Shuck hasn't been playing all year, but he's been playing a lot longer than Shedeur. And Cam Ward's been playing all season, so they've had time to build up. Now, you can't say that those teams have more talent than the Browns, because the Titans actually have less talent than Shedeur Sanders has. With the Saints, he got Olave, and he's better than anybody the Browns have. But they don't have much after that. They had Alvin Kamara, but he's old, and he's now hurt. So Shuck didn't, and Olave missed some games too. So it's not like Shuck's got much better talent, probably a little better, but not much. And Cam Ward's got worse talent around him, if you can believe that. But those guys have played longer. But yeah, I mean, if you just see the stats, especially on Cam Ward, you're like, well, he's been horrible, and he hasn't been very good. But you see some throws if you watch.
He makes some spectacular throws.
Well, you're like, wow. I mean, there's a lot of impressive
big time throw. Yeah.
And I do think Shedeur made one of those throws, the touchdown or the long pass to Isaiah Bond in his first start against the Raiders. Obviously, we got to see more of that. They've got to give him the opportunity to do more than that by taking some of the guardrails off. And I spoke to Joe Thomas on the podcast yesterday. He also said he's been intrigued by Shedeur. Like, he's not, I don't think he didn't say he wasn't convinced. I'm kind of reading between the lines, but Joe definitely wants to see some more and thinks there's a chance that he's going to be the starting quarterback. But, the reality is that Shedeur is up against it, because the Browns have 2 first-round picks. They are likely to take a quarterback in the first round, especially if Kevin Stefanski gets fired. For all the people that hate Kevin Stefanski, and I don't hate him, but I would move on. But for a lot of the Shedeur fans hate Kevin Stefanski. The reality is Shedeur, if he has a chance to stay, probably has a better chance with Stefanski, because the odds are that the next coach of this team is not going to want to put up with all the drama surrounding Shedeur Sanders, even though 99% of it's not his fault. Most coaches don't want to have that stuff.
I totally agree with you. And if Shedeur doesn't make some of those big time throws, and Stefanski's gone, there's a good chance he'll be gone too, because the new coach is not going to want to put up with any. He's going to have known what happened this year in Cleveland and
Right.
the questions that were asked every single week and the amount of stress that it puts on a coaching staff and a locker room and a quarterback room. And it has nothing to do with Shedeur as a person. It just is. The situation is what it is. When you're a polarizing person, a figure. I mean, it happened to Tim Tebow too. Happens to a lot of players. They don't get to pick where they play. They don't get to pick who they are. It just is what it is. And for the Browns, they've got a very polarizing quarterback who's a likable kid who hasn't had a lot of time to prepare and play.
Yep.
And now we're kind of up against it here. We're trying to figure out if the kid is going to be any good. He's a 5th-round pick, which means it doesn't buy him a lot of time. You know, I mean, I was a 3rd-round pick, Bull, and I obviously a new staff came in and I was gone. So it's hard. It's hard to prove to a new staff like that you are worthy to be there unless they really, really love you or unless you made a ton of plays. I didn't make any plays as a rookie because I was hurt. He has some tape that he can put on for the coaches to show them, what he can do. Right. So these final few games are vital for Shedeur Sanders to make some plays.
Yeah, no doubt about it. This week in particular, you're playing the worst team in football in the Tennessee Titans. You're at home. Now, the weather, as usual this time of the year in Cleveland, is not going to be great. High temperature of 34 is expected. Not crazy winds this week, at least. The wind's supposed to be 10 to 15 miles an hour. There is a chance of snow during the day on Sunday. Not a high chance, but as of now, looks like there's about 40% chance. There could be a little bit of snow. But you want to see, you got to open it up. Even with the weather, I think you got to open it up a little for Shedeur this week. Because the Titans are really bad. And the over-under now is down to 34.
I thought it was started at 33.
Oh, maybe you're right. I was thinking it was 35. But
didn't you and I have a conversation about this? How you thought this was the lowest total you've ever seen?
I guess it did go up then. You're right. Maybe it was 33. It's still, wow. I like it even more. I like the under to begin with.
It's still 33 at some places. I mean, we probably have it at 34, but I mean, it's you can still look at.
I like the under no matter what. I mean, how the Titans should not be like. There's a reason. You could make an argument the Browns should pitch a shutout in this game. Bad weather, Browns defense, Titans. Like the Browns have
I'm with you.
Top 3 defense. The Titans have the worst offense in the league. It's going to be bad weather. Maybe Cam Ward makes a play. The Titans are probably the best chance to score will be if the Browns turn it over. If the Browns don't turn the ball over, I think the Titans will. I'd be stunned if they get even double digits if the Browns don't turn the ball over.
Their team total is 14.5. The Titans.
Yeah. Like I could see the Browns winning this game, 9-6.
Well, the team total for the Browns last week against the Niners was 14.5.
Yeah, that's
went under.
Crazy.
It was crazy is when they got the 2-point conversion, I'm thinking, oh, they're definitely going to go over that total because they'll score another touchdown.
Right.
And they did not.
They did not, no. As you see, the Browns were a 4.5-point favorite in this game. So this is an opportunity for sure for Shedeur this week. Folks, BetRivers players who place the same game parlay of at least $10 on NFL or NCAA football games will receive an entry into the weekly Squares game here at BetRivers. Winning Squares can earn up to a $50 bonus bet. Yes, $50 per entry. See the BetRivers app or the website for full details. Let's get to some comments here. Sammy Hill, as he does every show, with the Bull and Fox emojis, which we like. Evan419 with the live. Mr. Chairman of the board, good morning, Bull and Dustin. I believe that 16 teams in the FBS football playoffs is the correct number, as there are always teams that don't deserve to be in the playoffs, let alone bowl games. I mean, if you go to 24, there's how many teams do you think in the country could beat Ohio State on that? If they played Ohio State, you'd give them at least a 25% chance to win.
How many teams? That's not about why you're expanding.
No, I know, but I'm just in terms of I'm separate from that, separate from the expansion. I'm just curious because I think
on a given year or this team in particular.
This team right now. How many teams do you think you give a reasonable chance to beat Ohio State?
5.
Really? That many? I didn't think you'd say that many. So you got what? Texas Tech?
I think Texas Tech. I think Bama. I think Georgia.
Indiana?
I think Indiana. I don't know.
4.
Yeah,
Right,
I mean,
4.
I think Notre Dame would probably give them a good game.
Really?
I
Okay.
think that. I mean, maybe. I don't know. Maybe.
You just said Notre Dame shouldn't be in the field.
I think BYU'd give them a game.
Okay. But who do you think's got the best shot to beat them? Texas Tech?
Only because their defense is ridiculous and their pass rush is insane. Ohio State has a freshman quarterback.
Yeah.
And Texas Tech will smother you.
Okay.
And Saban's probably going to win the Heisman. I'm so impressed with Texas Tech's defense. You'll see it this weekend again.
Okay. Against BYU?
Against BYU. Dude, BYU's quarterback, you know much about Bear Bachmeier?
No. His name is Bear?
Bear. Bear
like
Bachmeier.
that.
His brother's name's Tiger.
It's awesome.
Unbelievable family. The kid, he's 6'2", 6'3", about 240 pounds.
Yeah.
He wears number 47.
What a bizarre number.
He's wore it since like the 5th grade.
Yeah.
His dad gave it to him when he was a kid. His dad coached him, and he just loved it because his dad told him, you need to have the fullback mentality. So this dude, when he runs, he tries to run you over. But he's a really accurate passer. It's so funny to see him wear number 47. He's a true freshman.
Yeah.
Starting quarterback.
Is he an NFL prospect?
I mean, it's a true freshman. I have no idea.
Yeah, too soon to tell.
But at this point, it's a great story. I mean, and by the way, this kid, he's like fluent in multiple languages. He can sing like an angel, can play guitar, self-taught. He's just like a savant.
He's a Renaissance man.
His brother was at Stanford. They were both at Stanford.
Yeah.
And then Stanford fired their coach, and Andrew Luck decided that he was not going to hire a new coach. He hired Frank Reich as an interim coach for 1 year, which was kind of weird.
Yeah.
And so a bunch of people transferred, including Barry. He transferred to BYU, and Stanford's still looking for a quarterback. But anyway, it's a good story.
Yeah, it is a good story. Let's see. Patrick says, Dustin, you think BYU would beat Notre Dame straight up if they played on a neutral site?
I think they could, yeah.
But who would you pick right now?
I think the spread would be 3.
But who would be favored?
I think Notre Dame would be favored.
So then why does BYU belong in?
I'm just telling you what Vegas thinks. Just because Vegas thinks something doesn't mean something's fair.
So you think Vegas is wrong?
3 points. I have to pick a favorite. It's a 3-point spread.
Yeah.
Jeez Louise, you guys are up my ass.
Hey, listen, you got to back up what you say.
The Big 12 doesn't get a lot of respect for some reason this year, and I don't know why. But the Big 12, the Big 10 outside of Ohio State
stinks.
In Indiana stinks.
Yeah, right, outside of the top 2. Tom Claus, you guys are the real deal. So sorry to see you guys leave the fan. I don't listen to the channel anymore. Glad you two guys together here. Well, you should still listen to the fan when we're not on.
They're all our friends over there.
Yeah. Well, just make sure when we're on, you listen to us. But then, put it on. That's fine.
That's right.
Lima and Ken are probably, yapping about some nonsense right now. Did you see the clip? I'm not a fan of Jason Whitlock, but did you see the clip of Jason Whitlock referencing Ken and Lima?
I did not.
So now Whitlock, he's crazy, but this was funny because he played a clip of Lima and Ken talking about Shedeur Sanders, and Whitlock was like, I don't even know if he used his name, but he said Lima. He agreed with Lima, and he's like, he's 100% right. He's not as scared to say it because Lima's been critical of Shedeur and the Shedeurians, which I get. And then Ken was it wasn't a great clip for Ken because it just didn't, it just wasn't great for him. And Jason Whitlock goes, meanwhile, the chubby guy on the right, he's struggling there. He's afraid to say something,
Well, Whitlock's a chubby guy himself.
What's that?
Whitlock's a chubby guy.
Yeah, I know.
Himself.
Like, come on, Whitlock. I mean, I know Ken's chubby, so am I, so are you. You can't be calling him the chubby guy. For crying out loud.
Not nice.
But it was funny. It actually was funny. I had to text Lima and tell him it was hilarious. But and then I was texting with Ken and Jonathan, not Ken and Jonathan, with Jonathan and Nick yesterday because Mark Schlereth went on their show and said, something that I thought was crazy. And he's not the first one to say it because G. Bush kind of said it too. But
didn't Schlereth have the take when Jerry Jeudy got signed that it was like a ridiculous signing, and he had like been staunch against him for a long time, and he's proven to be right.
Yeah, he looked. Last year he looked wrong, and this year he looks very right. But yesterday he said Myles Garrett should win the MVP of the league, which, as much as we love Myles Garrett, to me that's crazy.
A little bit crazy, yeah.
I mean, first of all, we understand Myles having a historic season, and maybe you don't want how can you be the MVP of the league when your team's going to finish in last place? I don't see how that's possible. It's not his fault, but how valuable can you be if your team is in last place? If the award is best player in the NFL, then you can make a very good case for going to Myles Garrett, but that's not what the award is. Mr. Chairman of the Board, Bull and Dustin, what's your opinion on Lane Kiffin's abandonment of the Mississippi football team as the playoffs are approaching?
My opinion of this situation is like I'm a little bit disappointed because I thought Lane had a chance to do something to really help his image and, like, for once show some loyalty. And I'm not going to begrudge someone for taking the money or whatever, but like the dude has all the money in the world, and Ole Miss could pay really whatever LSU was going to pay. He could have been a hero at Ole Miss. And like Kalani Sitake at BYU, I don't know if you've seen this over the last couple of days, but like he was heavily recruited by Penn State.
Mm-hmm.
They were going to pay him a ton of money. Well, like BYU's they're a huge fan. They're like the Browns, by the way. They're everywhere. Browns fans. BYU fans are everywhere because the Latter-day Saints church is basically, if you're a Mormon, you go to BYU. So they're all over the country.
Yeah.
Like if they played tomorrow in Cincinnati like they did a couple weeks ago, the stadium was like 50% BYU fans. They're everywhere. So they were just hoping to keep their coach, and he stays, signs the extension, and like he's just looked at. They're going to build a statue of Sitake outside of LaVell Edwards Stadium, which is named after their former legendary coach. And Ole Miss, they're just looking for anything right now. And this guy, Lane Kiffin, seemed to give them what they were always looking for: is to be a contender, to have this great offense, to be nationally relevant. And then he up and dips after he just, I don't know. I don't like it. And I was starting to like Lane Kiffin, and I don't know the guy personally. I've never met him once. I have no clue what he's like, but it's unfortunate for those fans. I feel bad.
It sucks what he did. And I was even more annoyed by guys like Saban and Herb Street for basically defending him and making Ole Miss into the bad guy in this situation. When if a player had done something like this, those guys would have killed him. Nick Saban hates the system, hates the players getting money, and yet a coach can do whatever the hell he wants, and he doesn't care. So I thought they were hypocrites, and I didn't like it. I think Ole Miss is 100% right not to let him coach in the playoffs. I wouldn't let him coach.
I agree. I mean, why? Yeah, and be like, hey, I'm going to divorce you, in 6 months, but let me just live here for the holidays.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it's just ridiculous.
I got this hot girlfriend.
Yeah.
That I'm moving in with in like 6 weeks, but you know what? For the kids, just for the holidays.
Right. It's unbelievable. Max, our guy Max, one of the producers, says he thinks Notre Dame would be an 11-point favorite over BYU on a neutral field.
11 points?
That's what Max says. Max is a big college football guy.
So what would Notre Dame be against BYU or against Texas Tech? Excuse me, Notre Dame versus Texas Tech.
All right, Max, give us that one now. Notre Dame versus Texas Tech.
Because BYU is an underdog this weekend of 13 points to Texas Tech.
Notre Dame
would be favored against
4.
Tech.
That's what he says.
I would be on the money line for Texas Tech there.
You would be, huh?
I
okay,
would.
Well, I guess we'll see. We'll have a chance to see all this.
I pray to goodness that BYU shows up this weekend. And you know what? What stinks too is I like Texas Tech, and Joey McGuire is my guy, and I don't want to see them, but they're going to make the playoff regardless. Like if Texas Tech loses this game to BYU, Big 12 gets 2 teams in.
Right. Oh yeah, that's true. I don't think they're going to lay down.
Did you see that they're going to have a record crowd for a Big 12 game at this Arlington this weekend, Jerry's World? The previous record was 84,000. This game is sold out.
How many seats does it have?
More than 84,000.
Damn. All right. Well, speaking of college football, of course, we know the Buckeyes play Indiana for the Big Ten championship this weekend. The Buckeyes are a 4-point favorite.
I'm just really weary of this spread. And I got degenerate friends, my buddy Scotty, who obviously we talked about yesterday.
Yeah.
We're like worried because where's the push coming from? Because the spread was 5.5. I feel like the spread should be like 6.5, 7, maybe 7.5.
Yeah.
And Max can chime in on this too because he's the expert, obviously.
Yeah.
I just don't understand why the line's going down.
Are we getting big money? Are there some big money bettors betting on Indiana there, Max? What's happening in this situation? Max will give me the update in just a minute because I am curious. That usually the spreads go in Ohio State favor.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Max is telling us it's an emotional letdown spot for Ohio State, and Indiana needs the game.
But why does Indiana's going to the college football playoff even if they lose? So I don't understand. Like, why? I mean, that's true. They didn't. You're right. But I think, listen, winning this game would certainly mean more to Indiana than it would mean to Ohio State. I don't think there's any doubt about it, because this would be the greatest win in the history of the Indiana program.
Yeah, I don't think Indiana's ever beaten a number 1 team in the country, have they?
I can't imagine. Who knows if they've even beaten did they beat a top 10 team last year or this year?
Last year, I
top
believe.
5?
Last year they did, didn't they?
I don't know. So this would by far be their biggest win in college history, in college football, in their college football history. So that's it. All right, couple of quick things before we wrap up. If you want to look for that, see if they had a top 10 win. Couple of quick things. Cavs lose again. Everybody's panicking. They've dropped 4 of 5. I've been, what's funny here is I'm going to reverse things today. I've been the most negative person on the Cavaliers, but I think everybody's going over the top. Like, I don't like watching this team right now, and they're not a good basketball team right now, but it is December. Does it matter if they're good now? You don't need to be good now. The Cavs have been good plenty of times in the last few years in December. I don't need them to be good now. I need them to be good in April.
I'm not too worried about them right now.
Over the top with the people are crazy right now. And finally, minor move. I'm sure it went under the radar for everybody but the most diehard Guardians fan. But the Guardians made a minor move yesterday. They signed right-handed pitcher Connor Brogdon to a 1-year contract. Minimal money. He's getting like just under $1 million. I'm not going to tell you he's a difference maker, but he's a nice, cheap addition to the Guardians' pen. He's got good stuff. He didn't have good numbers last year. He did in the past with Philadelphia. I think it's a good, cheap addition to the Guardians' pen. Now they got to spend some real money or make a real trade to improve the lineup. You got the rotation. You added a nice extra piece to a bullpen that was already good. Now let's go make real moves, spend real money from your $50 million payroll. Right now the Guardians' payroll has got to be the lowest in baseball, or one of the 2 or 3 lowest. And spend some real money and make a trade and improve this lineup. That's what needs to happen now. But I just wanted to mention that because I like this as a cheap move. Nice addition to the pen. All right. Thanks, everybody, for joining us today, as always. Thank you to Max and Z. I almost said Alex again. I've been saying Alex a lot lately. I don't know why I got Alex in the brain. Max particularly helpful today with all the insight on college football with point spreads and things like that. Love you all. Thank you all for watching. Thank you all for your chats today. And thanks for hitting the subscribe button. If you haven't done so already, please do that. We will talk to you. I'll be on tomorrow. I'll have Mary Kay Cabot on with me tomorrow. And then Sunday after the game. And then Dustin and I will be back on Tuesday. The 2 of us will be on the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show again today, so tune in at 11 a.m. and 90 minutes from now. I'll also be doing my weekly show with Brandon Stokely. That'll be out tomorrow, predicting the games for the weekend. Until then, we'll talk to you next time. Where else but right here in the bullpen with Bull and Fox. We'll talk to you next time. Brought to you by Bet Rivers. See ya.